What's up, San Diego drummers? Today I want to talk to you about a process of charting drums, okay? So charting drums can be a little bit different than how other musicians are charting drums. Traditionally, other musicians will have the key center and then they'll have the chord progression, whether it's a 1, 4, 5, what have you, and then they'll have how many bars that happens and then some instruction, okay? For us drummers, it's a little bit different. So I picked this up from a gal in Nashville. I forget her name. I was reading some article years ago, and I've used this process ever since. When I have a week or some allotted time where I have to learn a lot of different pieces of music, I'll use this process of charting. I'll have a notebook. I'll take that notebook to to a rehearsal or to the gig if I really need to, and I'll be able to crush it out with this. So we call this FBI. So what we have here on the left is form, F, B for bars, and then I for instruction, FBI, okay? At the top right, we've got our BPM. This tune is 120 beats per minute. This is a fake tune, but whatever. So at the top where we have form, what we're gonna do is listen to the tune that we've been hired to play, or we just want to learn for fun, whatever it is, and we're going to write down what the form is. So we listen to it, we say, okay, cool, there's an intro, all right? Next thing is the verse, V for verse. Then we've got a double verse, we have a verse right after the first one. And then we have C for chorus, another verse after the first chorus, goes into a bridge, B for bridge, and then to wrap up the tune, C for the last chorus, last hook, okay? And then B, bars. So we listen to the tune again. We may not be able to get this down after listening to it 3 times. It may take a little bit more time than that, but that's okay. Patience and grace. So the next thing, B for bars. We've got 4-bar intro, 2 8-bar verses, a 16-bar chorus, another 8-bar verse, an 8-bar bridge, and a 16-bar chorus at the end, okay? So we write down how long everything goes. And by the way, let's just keep it simple. This tune is in 4/4 time signature. Easy. I for instruction, okay? So here is where we'll really be focusing if we have to look at this stuff as we're playing it, okay? And we want to be able to write down not exactly what's happening, right? Because we'll probably remember it, but just little hints, cues, little heads up. So on the intro, we have guitar only. Okay, so the intro is going to start with the guitar, and then kick on 3rd bar. Okay, so for the first 2 bars, it's guitar only, and then the kick comes in. Maybe it's just a 4 on the floor. Every quarter note, we're just doing the kick for two bars, all right? And if we needed to, we would just write 4 on floor, which again, 4 on floor just means quarter note pulse on the kick drum. Cool. So first verse, instruction, we have hi-hat groove, okay? And we have 16th note fill at end, okay? So we just know for the verse, it's gonna be on the hi-hat, right? And at the end of that verse, before we come to our second one, whatever. We have a 16th note groove, a fill. Next thing is the chorus. On instruction, it says ride, and then tom groove. Okay, cool. So we know when we switch to the chorus, we've already rehearsed these tunes, so it's just a heads up. It's a friendly reminder of what's about to happen, right? So we go to the ride pattern, and then we go across the kit, and we do that tom groove that it's talking about. Next up, we have verse, again, another 8 bars, and it just says same, okay? That means it's gonna be the same as the other 2. It's exactly what this arrow here means going into the second verse. Third verse, it's gonna be the same. If it's not the same, put the proper notes, no big deal. After that, we have bridge. This is something that I wanted to bring up to y'all. It says halftime feel under the bridge, okay? So there's halftime, and then there's halftime feel. They're 2 different things. So halftime is where all the musicians go to halftime. Halftime feel is where some of them go, okay? So it depends on what your band's put together, who's going halftime for whatever feel that you guys have going on. This is halftime feel. So maybe just the drummer goes to halftime and then the other musicians are still playing normal tempo. So last thing, chorus, says same. Again, same thing as the first chorus. And then vamp out, V-A-M-P-O-U-T. If you don't know what that means, if you've ever listened to a record and the audio just seems to fade out at the end and the musicians are still playing, they're still grooving, maybe the guitar is noodling, taking some solos at the end or whatever, but the audio just seems to go down, like somebody's turning it down. That's called a vamp out, right? So we'll just put that for the last chorus. So yeah, y'all. I've used this for years. It really helps me when I've got a lot of songs that I have to learn in a short amount of time. Just doing this FBI method and just having it in a journal really helps. Whether you need to bring it to a rehearsal or a gig, sometimes just the process of really thoroughly listening to these tunes and identifying the form, how long the form goes, and then what's happening in the form, and then writing that down. There's a lot of power in just writing things down. Sometimes that can really help us get things dialed in. All right, y'all, check out SanDiegoDrumAcademy.com. Book your first lesson. Check us out. See you, drummers. Be good.